on all
right.
Why is my finger in the way? All right. Maybe it's better to do it this way because I can't see what's on the screen here.
All right, we're going to start the post-game show here. So we're going to roll right into it. Let's do it.
All right. Let me go over to the comments here. Looks like we got 4 people in there. So, yeah, you don't have a glitch in your TV. Somehow Georgia Tech comes with the upset against the U.
The U.
Miami was a 20.5 point favorite in this game. I'm going to turn the phone.
Much like last week, the Jackets against Bowling Green.
Yeah. Tech taking a lot of flack. I mean, think of everything that led into this game. We had a change at DC.
Yeah.
We demote Thacker. We promote Kevin Scherer.
And the defense plays lights out this game.
Defense comes in and plays lights out. We're coming off the heels of this Bowling Green loss. Nobody, and I mean nobody, even Georgia Tech fans, really thought Tech had any chance of winning this game whatsoever.
I thought we could keep it close, perhaps, just because we're so inconsistent. And I know that performance last week wasn't us. It wasn't the team that I had watched the first 4 weeks of the season. The team that we have watched throughout the Louisville, South Carolina State, Wake Forest, and Ole Miss, that team was competitive and driven and and good.
Yeah.
And that team last week was dreadful. And I knew that it wouldn't, we would return kind of to the mean. And I knew that it could happen. I just didn't think we could upset them, man. My mind.
No, especially the way we did. I mean, if you would have said we would have upset them, I would have said, oh, well, the score must have been 48-45.
Yes, dude. Yes.
Our offense must have played their absolute minds out. I mean, guys, this game was 3-0 Miami at half.
Yeah.
I mean, no one saw that coming. Tyler Van Dyke throws 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
One that was almost run back.
And then our defense holds them to a field goal there. Even it's like our defense never got like shook up. It's the complete opposite of how it's been all year. I mean, we were getting pressure, we were getting turnovers, we were tackling.
I don't think we had one missed tackle that whole game.
No, we didn't.
Which is a miracle in and of itself. Defense plays out of their minds. Linebackers by far the best performance all year.
Yeah.
Creating turnovers. And then I guess talking about Miami, I mean, what do you think kind of happened with Miami? I mean, I think they had 4 total turnovers.
I mean, yeah, the turnovers definitely – was it 4 total? Yeah, because the one at the end that caused us to win, which I'm still in shock. Like I said, nothing would shock me. I'm still in shock. But, yeah, the turnovers, that's the recipe for the victory. But we were only +2 in the turnover margin. I mean, we threw – Haynes King threw 2 terrible interceptions, like terrible. And Haynes King really didn't have that good of a game, I think. I
think it was the worst game of the year. I mean, we said it on your stream. We didn't really – the best offensive series we had was the last 10 seconds of that game when it mattered the most, on a 44-yard touchdown pass to Christian Leary.
Yeah. So, yeah. Exactly when we needed it the most. It blows my mind, man. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised by any outcome because I never would have seen it coming in a million years that we get blown out and dominated by Bowling Green. But It's true what they say that a different team. You get 12 different versions of a team every week of the college football season. That is true. It's true.
And you talked about Tech's been so inconsistent, and that wasn't any different in this game. Right.
We're not inconsistent. Our inconsistencies are down to like the intangibles. We are inconsistent in every facet of football you could ever think. We're inconsistent. well, special teams are consistently.
Yeah.
But we're inconsistent, not just in the performance of the team as a whole, but we're inconsistent in how certain position groups play.
Yeah.
We're inconsistent in penalties, inconsistent in what I mean, mental things like.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we did have a good number of penalties tonight, and they tended to come when it hurt the most.
Yes.
When we get inside the 10, we have a false start that backs us up from being
after a timeout, man, too.
Yeah, after a timeout. You know, Haynes King throws 2 picks himself. That's been uncharacteristic until the last 2 weeks for the guy. I mean, we only had 61 yards of offense going into the half.
It really does concern me that Haynes King has now had 2 bad performances in a row. I don't know. He usually, like, the first 4 games or whatever, he was like unshakable. He had ice in his veins. You couldn't get to him. It seems like he's kind of regressed, and we won this game despite Haynes King. As big of a fan as I am of him, you know.
Right.
That's what it kind of seems like to me.
Yeah, I don't. I'm just kind of in shock myself to the point where, like, I don't know that I have the words to say.
I couldn't. I'm shocked that I'm shocked. Like, I swore I wouldn't. No outcome would surprise me by this game, but yeah, here we are. I mean, even like I'm shocked that not that we won it, but how we won it. Like that last second is so improbable that we got the ball back with 26 seconds to go and almost walk off.
Yeah,
because we didn't have to kick it off. And at the end, Miami actually they had 2 seconds on the clock and they did the lateral thing, and it went on for a little too long for my comfort.
I felt like it was still going on now.
Yeah.
BVD says, Big Vol Daddy, what a crazy finish. I'd already changed the channel.
Yeah.
I tell you what that finish reminds me of for Georgia Tech fans. It reminds me of the kick in the pick 2014. I mean, you get in, you only have a few seconds left to do anything. First, we have to get the turnover. You know, Miami had that game locked up. We get the turnover. And then march right down the field on the touchdown. I mean, we were all but reserved to just like, yeah, I mean, that's a wrap. And 99 times out of 100, it is a wrap on the game.
Yes, and it's just against all odds. We like never gave up. Shout out to the defense, dude. I mean, talk about bend, don't break.
Yeah, I mean, really, they gave up one big play.
Yeah.
And that's about it. I mean, the defense played their absolute.
It's like so night and day. This, I was saying throughout the game, this reminded me of a game from last year, like where our defense was like locking everything down, carrying us the whole game, getting turnovers, and then our offense comes out and squanders it and goes 3 and out. That is just like last year, and we barely scraped to win. This is just like you picked a game from last year. This is how we should have won this game last year. I'm shocked, man.
It is. Kevin Jarrett says, shout out Tech. They'll only lose to Georgia by 38 or so. Tech is back. Well, I would be careful saying something like that because that's what Miami been saying all week.
All week,
leading up
man.
to this.
All week, dude. They were like, oh, what were they saying to you? I heard we don't get too many players hurt or something.
Yeah, I just hope we don't get too many players hurt and, this win.
Yeah.
Mario, is this Mario Cristobal? How they let that team win? Georgia Tech sucks truly. Well, I mean, not tonight.
I can understand if this was the only game that you watched from Georgia Tech is that it's thinking we suck because we didn't play. Our defense played good, but yeah, our offense, I can understand thinking that. But I'm telling you, man, like this is not the team we saw last week or the first 4 weeks. I feel like we were pretty consistent with our issues and strengths in the first 4 weeks. These past 2 weeks have been extremely different.
Well, this is a team we haven't seen. I mean, it seems like last year, and, we've been up and kind of trashing Miami, but, I mean, that's a good offensive football team with a lot of weapons.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the best defensive showing I've seen for Georgia Tech
we could just,
in a long time.
We could just harness that and just harness our offensive success from the first 4 games.
Yeah.
And put them together.
Yeah. I mean, we might.
Look out. We'd be dangerous.
We'd have a pretty dangerous football team. Be nice people, show some class. I don't know if you're talking about me and Cito. I don't think we've said anything that bad. Maybe you're talking to people in the chat.
Sorry, you got to understand. We've been terrorized by Miami fans all week. I mean, all week they've been telling us how bad we are and how much we're going to get blown out by. And
yeah,
so it feels pretty good to be vindicated. I mean, we still got a lot of issues, but I mean, we still got strengths, and it's like we can be a good team when we want to, when we can put it together. I don't know.
No, we can, and look, I think Miami tonight is kind of going through what we've gone through, or maybe not necessarily what we've gone through, but you got to feel like you really let one. Yeah, he's talking about people in the chat. Okay, you got to feel like you let this one get away from you. I mean, I don't have the stats in front of me, but I bet Miami nearly outgained us 4 yards to 1.
Yeah. Yep.
And it wasn't like Miami was the only team.
Oh my God! I just seen Brent Key. He throws up the U and breaks it over his knee.
Like the diamond cutter,
dude. And he breaks it over his knee. That is savage.
So let's address this too, because I think this is going to be a huge thing from people that aren't in the Tech fan base. Kendrick Merrick says, "Man, the ref's going to give y'all that game, bruh. 100." Yeah. So as far as the fumble, not fumble call, I think that was close and could have gone either way.
It's just that you didn't have anything to overturn it. You know, there's a pile of bodies. I mean,
right.
I don't see how you overturn it either. I mean,
it has to be indisputable.
Yeah.
The other thing is Miami was a 20-point favorite.
Yeah, you can't put it in the hands of the refs because trust me, they will let you down every time. You have to. I mean, there's no excuse for Miami to really lose this game. You got us out talented. You got more talent than us in nearly every position. So.
Yeah, you got 3 NFL wide receivers. Your whole defense is loaded, particularly defensive line. You just had you're as healthy as you've been all year.
You just got to own it, man. We had to do this last week. You just got. I mean, I know exactly what you're going through. You get beat by a team worse than you, and it sucks. We went through this last week. You just got to say, yeah, we got beat.
Yeah, that should have never came down to one play. For Miami.
I mean, really, Miami played better, except in crucial moments. I mean, you play that game, 9 times out of 10, Miami wins, I would say.
No, they do. Absolutely.
Because that offense, we had a lot of things go our way. But I wouldn't say it was the refs. I mean, turnovers and penalties, yes, but it was at crucial times. And then, I mean, come on, you can't give up a 75 yards in 26 seconds. We had no timeout. You gave up 75 yards in 26 seconds. You can't. No.
Well, you can't really. Did the ref, blow the coverage on Leary on the 44-yard touchdown?
Exactly.
I mean, we took the ball. If you looked at ESPN, once we got that turnover, it was still probably 75% winning chances. Miami.
You were playing prevent defense, and you didn't even.
Yeah.
And then you didn't even prevent the big play. Usually what prevent defense gets you ate up on as the underneath plays and lets them get outside out of bounds. You gave up the big play on prevent. That's even worse.
And honestly, I don't think we were playing for a touchdown there.
We were.
That was a 3-point game.
You had King dead to rights. I mean, he was run out. By the time we scored the touchdown, there was 2 seconds left. Like, we should not have scored there. Haynes King, you flushed him out of the pocket, and he had to throw on the run. That blown coverage, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, we were just looking to get another 10 yards to get a decent field goal
to take him to overtime. If we went into overtime, I never said it, but you would have won if we went in overtime. Our offense couldn't.
100%.
Our offense couldn't play to this game. So, like I said, you play this 9 times out of 10, and Miami probably wins 9 of them.
Yeah. Yeah, just look. So I think sometimes a team is due. Tech was kind of due for for a big win. And we've talked about coming off the heels of an ugly.
Look at all the stats. Triple your yards. Yeah. Double the turnovers, too.
Yeah.
Double the turnovers, too. So.
Unfortunately, stats are not what determines the winner. It's whoever scores the most points at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And a lot of things go into that.
I got to make a moderator in here, not on the Mark Rogers channel, but on mine.
Someone blowing you.
Yeah, there's spamming. Let's not spam, okay? All right, Vince Wilkes, I'm trusting you. If you see some spamming, shut that down for me.
Chris Leclerc, Miami needs to kneel next time. I don't remember the math at the end of the game. Were you in a position? Are you saying just kneel and kick the field goal?
Because there was mistakes we made too, as far as
we waited a long time to
start calling our timeouts.
Yeah,
that was so improbable that we won that. Like even down to, like you said, the last play, it was still on that last play. It was probably 75% Miami wins. I bet that they win the. Snatch defeat from the Jaws of Victory award this week because they had to have had the highest percentage of winning that game.
Oh, before the turnover?
You've seen the chart, right, where it goes, right before the turnover, probably like 99%. I mean, it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, just a heck of a win. Oh, is that what it really was, Dennis? 99.99
I bet, yeah.
It had to be close. I mean, I'm sure it was like 98% chance of them winning there. But unlikely things do happen. We saw that tonight.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. Oh, they got Haynes King on the
post game.
I wish we could listen to it, but it'll get the stream shut down.
Yeah.
I'll definitely go back and watch. Unlike last week, I couldn't stand to go back and watch that crap.
No, not at all.
But
yeah, Joe asked, "Are there any Miami fans in here?" I think there was one, maybe.
There's a bunch in mine, and this guy's saying, yeah, the Miami fans. This is a tough loss. It is what it is. We went through the same thing last week, so believe me, we know what you're going through. Sucks to lose to a team that you perceive to be better than you.
It does.
Or worse than you. I mean, but I can't believe we just knocked off number 17. Number 17, Miami, man. What a
big win for Georgia Tech from the standpoint of, one, a bowl is not as unrealistic anymore, especially with how they played tonight on defense.
So, yeah, that was a big question I had going into the game. Do we lay down and kind of just cash it in? Because it would be so easy to do that after last week. I mean, the whole world, including me, coming down on the team, everybody coming down on them, it would have been so easy for them to come in and just cash it in tonight. So I was worried about that, and obviously underneath somewhere is a good team. This isn't like last year where we have like a ceiling. If we could, we have a really high ceiling with this team. It's just, can we put it together?
Right.
So yes, you're right. It does bring back the ball hopes, but no, we bounced back this week. It was the least likely scenario, and even within the game, there were several times we could have cashed it in. Like, even when the offense makes an awful turnover, the defense still came out and played their hardest and would make the plays, even like time after time of the offense going 3 and out, turnover, whatever it is, the defense still came out and, and then for the offense to come out and pull out that last play, even against all odds, and we never quit. It's saying something. It's a good sign. It's a good sign. Is all the problems fixed for this team now?
No, but I think it helps your recruiting as well. We just lost a big recruit last week.
Yes, and not to mention this was a huge recruiting game for Miami too. They had all these recruits there. Recruits there, dude. And then all these recruits just saw them lose to a freaking Georgia Tech team that got blown out by Bowling Green last night. Watch them lose in front of an empty NFL stadium in the rain. Wow.
So I guess I'll have to go look at Twitter. Dennis G says, read Twitter now, all-time worst call of all time. What particular call are you talking about? Not taking a knee, I'm assuming, in that situation?
Let's see. I'm curious.
Yeah, see if you could find that out.
Shout out to the Canes fans on Twitter that are saying you were right about that I was right about Haynes King. It is what it is.
Well, the thing is, Haynes King didn't really play good tonight either, though.
I'm gonna get on Hurricane T2I. I gotta save all this for the non-professional. We're in the Mark Rogers stream. We're professional. We're not doing trash talking. Okay, it's hard to control myself a little bit. I apologize. It's hard to control myself after just getting punished all week, and this is huge for the team. I mean, you get attention to Georgia Tech. You get to see them get a win. Now, what this win will probably be perceived as is Miami just playing a terrible game and getting upset by a bad team.
Probably, yeah.
But
Miami laid an egg.
After getting blown out by Bowling Green, this is the best you can do. You know?
Well, and I think that kind of takes some credit that's due for Georgia Tech. I mean, Georgia Tech's defense came out and got after a really good offense. I mean, that's really, to me, the story of this game.
Yeah.
But that takes us to about 21 minutes. So I'll hang out here for a second. If you guys have any other comments, I see Dennis G says set an all-time record for dumb. Yeah, not taking a knee.
Oh, that's right here. When they handed it off. There's 40 seconds left. We have no timeouts, and they don't hand it off.
Okay.
Yeah, they hand it off, and that's when they fumbled. So,
I see.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, that is pretty bad.
That might just won, right?
That might be an all-time record for Dome. He's right.
You're right. So, I mean, is it the end of the world for Miami? No. I told them this before the game. None of them wanted to hear it. Is this the end of the world for Miami? No. Miami is talented, and hopefully they learn a lesson from it, kind of like we've had to. You get punched in the mouth, it's how you respond. I know all the Miami fans are besides themselves tonight. Trust me, I've been there. Yeah. But it's not it there. It sounds funny to say this, like I'm bragging, but there's no shame in losing to Georgia Tech. Really, when we get it together, we can play good football. Yeah. Now we only played it on one side of the ball tonight. We played a lot of bad football too. And Miami played a lot of bad football.
Yeah, but both sides.
It is what it is. I mean, Miami they're building towards next year too. I mean, this year was never their year that they were shooting for it all, sort of.
Right.
A lot of talk about Miami was kind of them because it's only Mario's second year,
Yeah. It is.
So this stuff's bound to happen.
Well, all right, guys, with that, I'll end the show. Appreciate you all tuning in. Big win for Georgia Tech tonight. We've had some really great football being played today between this game, the Red River rivalry.
That was awesome.
But y'all have a good night.
That was awesome.